In 2019, after 6 years of releasing the Metro Last Light, 4A Games finally released their new game of Metro series. I believe many people played or heard Metro series game before, maybe from gaming PC testing video or game reviews. Today I'm going to introduce the new game from 4A Games, Metro Exodus, to you. This is a first-person shooting game with a little bit of horror element, but with a huge surprise. When talking about the Metro series games, you cannot avoid its shocking graphic. The reason people use Metro series games to testing gaming PC graphic ability is Metro series games have a brilliant graphic ahead of the most of game at that time. It will require the most powerful graphic card to run it smoothly. In the graphic aspect, Metro Exodus even goes further. It is the first group of games with a new real-time ray tracing technology. Ray tracing is not a new technology, but real-time ray tracing is. When enable the real-time ray tracing, the light effect and shadow associated with a beautiful and high-resolution texture will not only blow your PC graphic card, but also blow your mind. In the past, Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light are mostly fighting underground in the Metro as their title shows. Therefore, the most people cannot enjoy the detailed and beautiful graphic because most of things are pitch dark. One of the 4A Games art team noticed that and he suggests why not go above ground. We should make both players and us play in a new world. As a result, Metro Exodus goes to the surface of the earth, and its excellent graphic finally attract everyone's attention. In the game, you can see the beauty of ice-covered abandoned city, dangerous forest, hot lifeless desert, and moody radioactive swamp. The light shines through leaves and reflect by the lake. Player row on the river. No one will not be amazed by all of these shows. All in one sentence, holy crap, this is amazing. But the most amazing thing about Metro Exodus is not how beautiful its graphic is, but its unique sense of substitution. The performance of the graphic is just an important tool for game developers to enhance the player's sense of substitution. For me, the most intoxicating thing about the entire game is also the feature of this game, which is its sense of substitution. Earlier, I mentioned that the first two works of the Metro series are mostly underground, and most of the scenes are dark, but their graphic performance was better than those of the same period. Many players definitely not understand, especially those without a powerful gaming PC. Why do so many dim scenes have to have such an epic graphic? Don't the developers feel that such graphic quality is wasted? The answer is simple. That creates a sense of substitution and atmosphere of the game. The Metro series uses a limited space to show extreme exquisite graphic quality, allowing players to inadvertently discover inconspicuous details, but it is more effective than throwing various exclusive things at players all the time. The Metro Exodus uses the latest technology, the best graphic, to show the player the most real world. Therefore, the player immersed in the game is not a surprise.
I'm sorry, Ed, but I couldn't do it.
The Metro Exodus not only increases the game's sense of substitution by the game graphic quality, but also by a huge amount of detail in the games. Metro Exodus is one of the games that give me the most details, and its details are manifested in all aspects. The first is the details of the game mechanics, such as the feel of shooting and the modification of firearms. As a first-person shooting game, the shooting feel is the most important part of the game. Nowadays, most first-person shooting games have a common problem. That is, the shooting feel feedback is not obvious, or it is too obvious that the game experience is not very good. The shooting feel of Metro Exodus is perfect. Although it is impossible to really feel the recoil when shooting, the game used visual effects to show the vibration of the shooting. The firearms in the game allowed me to feel the weight of the firearms, not too much feedback or without feedback. The customization of weapons in the game is also very rich, and these accessories of weapons are usually not small change, but can convert a pistol into a shotgun or even a sniper rifle. The acquisition of accessories of weapons is very reasonable. Instead of sending all the accessories directly to the players, the player can find or plunder them in the game. Player can feel that they are gradually becoming familiar with the huge weapon customization system and can modify suitable weapons for different environments or enemies, thereby enhancing the player's sense of substitution. There are more details such as the day and night weather system in the game. Human enemies are more alert during the day and the monsters at the night are more dangerous. Players need to choose a time to help them complete the task. In the game, players need to wear gas masks in places with radiation. The gas mask need to change the filter every 3 minutes. When the player is affected by the enemy with the gas mask on, the gas mask will be damaged, which will affect the vision of the player and will cause the mask to break, which need to repair by tap. Weapons will become dirty as the player enters the moody place. Dirty weapon will increase the chance of jamming. Players must find a workbench to clean the weapons. This setting seems to increase the difficulty of the game and cause players to encounter all kinds of unnecessary trouble during the game. However, if you bring the world view of game, you will find that these settings are not redundant, because the player is in an apocalypse where we'll never have an incredible hero. The developer of the game wants to bring the player into the situation of the protagonist in the game and let the players realize that life in the apocalypse will never be easy and happy. Another game design that makes players feel a great sense of substitution is that the decision players make in the game will affect the ending of the game. This design is not rare in many games, but few games can truly integrate everything into the game as clever as Metro Exodus. Although Metro Exodus is a shooting game, it does not encourage killing. When the player achieves his goal by killing every enemy, the protagonist's wife will condemn the player, and the protagonist's partner will sacrifice for covering the player's evacuation. All of this can be avoided. The player can decide to sneak through and just stun the enemy instead of killing the enemy to achieve the goal. If the player kills too much people during the game, the player will not only lose one comrade after another, but it will make the game eventually go into a bad ending. Metro Exodus also incorporates a lot of in-depth thinking about life. When players are truly immersed in the game, they will find that there are so many lessons when they look back and carefully thinking about the game. This allows players not only to have a sense of substitution in the game, but also outside of the game. Games are like arts, which will often bring not only happiness, but also the understanding of life and the world that game makers want to express in their mind. The following content will have spoilers. If you don't want to listen to it, you can just skip it. I strongly recommend playing the game first. The main content of the game make me feel unremarkable, but the encounter of the two fathers touched me deeply. They are Colonel Miller and Colonel Klebernikov. Although they are never met, their situation is so similar. Both of them initially lied to their children or friends. Colonel Miller chose to conceal the fact that there are other survivors in the world beside them, in order to prevent the war that already ended from harming his homeland. Colonel Klebernikov believed in his journal. Although he did not persecute civilians out of his own will, he still lied to his children that everything was for the good of everyone. After experiencing everything, the two fathers finally realized that their so-called white lie caused harm to the person they loved the most. In order to make up for what they did, Colonel Miller had to lead the team away from home to find a new home. Colonel Klebernikov lost all his friends, and in the end, his son and he were the only one left in the entire district. In the end, two fathers finally met, but one was dead and another one was about to die. But they didn't regret it because they knew that they were doing the right thing. Isn't this the case of life? We make every effort to hope that others can believe in us. We hope that we can get happiness, and we hope that we can leave no regrets. We have exhausted our lives telling countless lies, not only to others but also to ourselves. We deceive others and show our best side. We deceive ourselves and squeeze every bit of our abilities. However, when all the dust settles, look back and see, is everything we got really what we want? At this time, maybe you will be like Colonel Klebernikov said when he is dying.
Kirill, I'm coming back. I just need a tiny bit of rest. I'm just so tired.
There you are, brother. You found the maps and took a break, I see. I need a breather, too. Boy, do these hunks of iron chafe. Gotta watch out not to stay for too long, though. Your son sent me here, told where to look. He's tough, your Kirill. Yes, I can see his effort. Children, it's always about them. I'm here because of my daughter. She's smart, strong, kind, beautiful. I can't even tell you how proud I am of her, and how much I love her. I'm trying to be a father, but end up a colonel. It's as if by showing affection, I'd also show my vulnerability, not just to her, to her husband too. At first, I even thought that boy was all right. But his obsession with truth started driving me mad. He kept risking his life while he had the love of the best woman in the world. Decent people want normal things, a thicker broth, a warm place to call home, and healthy children. But he wants truth. Let me glance at those maps. Boy, was I mad at him. But then I took a closer look at the world and re-examined my life up to that point somewhat. Especially when I heard your story. I saw my past self in you, friend. We both served the great lie because we both made ourselves believe it was necessary. And if not for him, I would have ended up like you did. But now, finally, my life has a real purpose for a change. All because I can finally look the truth in the eye. I think you understand. Thank you for the maps. Don't think it was all in vain. You saved us all. And Creel, I'll give him this watch and make sure he gets out of this hellhole. You have my word. Well, it's time. Farewell, Colonel Klipnikov. Rest easy. Artyom, stay with me. Hold on.